Much different weather today, folks. We got important topics to cover today. Bank of America, Brian's Moynihan warns against a wealth effect. Very, very important stuff here. As well as the CEO of Bank of America says that they are slowing down hiring because not enough people left the company on their own. They've gone past their targets. It's really interesting to see this rapidly changing seasonal change. If you guys watched my video yesterday, you know these waves did not look like this yesterday. Granted, we were on a slightly different beach. It was only about 5 miles east, but drastically different. Check this out. Yeah, folks, we've got rain in the forecast today. We've had it yesterday, today. We may have it for a few more days. I'm gonna show you guys a clip of some really courageous, perhaps maybe ridiculously stupid roofers who tore off yesterday with rain in the forecast coming. Check this out. So the time now is roughly 1:06, 1:07 p.m. and the forecast shows that we have rain coming in at 2. And if you want to see the definition of a poor decision, it is choosing to tear off a roof on a day where you know it's likely to storm. It's actually going to storm all weekend. What were they thinking? But really, the topic of discussion today is not only Bank of America's warnings from their CEO, Brian Moynihan, but my own personal thoughts and what I want to share with you guys about how to prepare moving forward. Most importantly, by doing one thing in particular. We're going to get to that in just a moment here. But it says that Bank of America's Brian Moynihan warns against the wealth effect that could feel like 2007, 2008 all over again. And it says that we basically have a mild recession predicted starting sort of mid this year into 2024. Now, obviously, everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. You ask some economists, they'll tell you that we were in a recession last year. But as you guys are aware from previous videos that I've posted, that the simple fact of the matter is that it won't be entirely clear that we're in a recession until we are already in a recession. And then you can look back on the data and the numbers and the statistics to say, yes, that we were in a recession. But what's most important is what he has to say, which is we expect the Fed will move rates up over 5% and hold them there all through pretty much next year. And Moynihan told host Maria Bartiromo from Davos, Switzerland, that unemployment will move up a little bit. And so that's how they have to slow down the economy. And obviously, the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, has made these statements, and that is his intention, amongst other things. Now, Moynihan argued that it'll take a few years to get the Fed's rate structure back to normal, thus pushing back on any idea that it will cut back on rate hikes in 2023. So a Fed pivot, or really a reversal, because a pivot is just a minor change from what has been typically happening, which was a 75 basis points rate hike every single month. They've moved on to a 50 basis point rate hike. And so that's a pivot. A reversal would be a reduction, some quantitative easing. So our spending and the activity is more consistent with a lower growth economy and a more normal economy. Inflation is not over yet. And Moynihan said that because the Fed raised rates a lot to slow down the economy, this is where we're at basically. And Bank of America's chairman and CEO claimed its customers are meeting income multiples compared to pre-pandemic levels, as stimulus is still being spent. Now, I'm really confused by his statement, or at least his choice of words, in stimulus still being spent, because I don't think that's necessarily the case. But if you read between the lines, then the low rates, the easy access to money, the increased wealth available through appreciation of real estate and other assets could be considered stimulus. But for most people, they're going to look at it as a stimulus check. And we know that that money is long gone. That means, according to Brian Moynihan, that the U.S. consumer still has a lot of purchase power. Although the fight about inflation is things get expensive, it hits them right in the pocketbook, and then they start to change their behavior. And this was actually described really accurately as far as the pandemic and C-19 and all that money flowing, which was basically we were hurt and we were injured, and we were scooped up by an ambulance, and then we were pumped full of morphine, and everybody felt good, everybody felt great. And now the morphine is wearing off. But for some, not all, folks who were smart and wise and financially responsible with their money and their investments and their strategies at the time are probably still reaping the benefits. But we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. And it says that the population in the U.S. is fairly stable in whether houses are needed in certain places. And at the end of the day, there's not that much aggregate demand, and so rates slow it down. But that's the intended outcome of the Fed changing rates. If we didn't slow down housing, people would have this wealth effect, and it would probably feel more like 2007, 2008. And yeah, I do believe that we are starting to see the reaction to the rates and a change in this perceived wealth effect. But it also is creating, it's like, not only is it slowing it down for those who had access to it, it's making it increasingly more difficult for those who would like to gain access to it. And it says that with Goldman Sachs planning to lay off as many as 4,000 jobs this month, partly due to tightening monetary conditions, Moynihan indicated that job cuts won't be coming to Bank of America. Now that's a little bit tricky, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in just a second. But Goldman Sachs is cutting jobs. It started with 500, now they're moving to 4,000. They've made massive changes to their bonus structure and their payouts. And unfortunately, a lot of people, a lot of employees are going to feel this reduction of this wealth effect, and it doesn't just apply to real estate. It's going to come in the form of job cuts. And it says here that we keep the critical staffing, we keep the people we need, and we really watch it. But look, we can manage that with a 10% turnover rate and 215,000 people. And we have to hire 5,000 people to keep the number of headcount stable. So what you do is just slow down the hiring and let the headcount drift to where you want to be. Yeah, so Moynihan indicated that job cuts won't be coming to Bank of America, but he's just going to slow down on hiring and hopefully through attrition lose these employees in these jobs and just not replace them. And it says that the Bank of America chairman and CEO also called for balanced energy policy, noting that the bank has $40 million worth of loans out to oil and gas companies. So folks who are looking to invest, you may want to pay attention to what some of these bigger banks and what these financial institutions are where they're putting their money. And it says that we need to have both. We need lots of oil and gas, energy security, and we need to start to make the transition. The key is to keep it all in balance. And that balance, in my opinion, is another form of diversity, which is what I tell you guys about all the time as far as protecting your wealth, building your wealth. My predictions for 2023 moving forward, diversity and security. And this literally, it literally attacks both of those at the same time, diversity and security, as well as, if you guys haven't seen it, check out this video that I put up just a few days ago about a diverse energy security that I think we all should be paying attention to. Great opportunity, folks. Now, Moynihan further spoke out against too much bureaucracy being involved in the energy industry, pointing at new European standards which will soon apply to American companies and their overseas projects. Again, for my investors out there who are paying attention, this is going to be some very, very important key indicators that are going to more than likely produce warning signs of which direction to possibly go. And he further urged that the U.S. has a great opportunity to capitalize on this liquefied natural gas supply and ensure we don't make the mistake of relying on a singular energy source. Again, that video I'm going to put up on the screen so you guys can see it. Go check it out after you watch this video, because it has a lot to do with changes in the energy supply and ways that companies are going to be producing revenues and ultimately net income and profits from it, and how investors can align with it. And it's a relatively affordable price point to get into, in my opinion, right now. That may not be the case moving forward, but today it is. And the CEO of Bank of America says that they are slowing down hiring because not enough people left the company on their own. And we went past our target headcount. And this is really important because I said I want to talk to you guys about planning and preparation for the future. And what that means, in my opinion, is doing something right and doing it really well and doing it enough right now to make a lot of money from it, to secure your future, so that when the opportunities present themselves, you're in a really great position to capitalize on them. Let me explain. All right, even though the weather is pretty crappy out today, I think you guys really enjoy when we get these opportunities to walk and talk and see what the weather situation is. I'm gonna try not to get soaked here and keep my GoPro dry because I am actually, let me show you guys. I'll take a picture so you guys can see. It's gonna be a really poor picture, but I'm actually using my GoPro. If anybody's interested and wants to know more about how to set theirs up and if they want to start making content, this is my current setup, okay? So I've got the GoPro, and I'll show you guys the picture so you guys can see it. But it's not the most waterproof setup right now because I'm running my DJI mic and I got the media mod on it. So the GoPro itself is waterproof to a certain degree, but the accessories may not be so much. So either this is gonna go really well or I'll be replacing this equipment because it got too wet. But what I wanna tell you guys, what I wanna share with you is the importance, in my opinion, of doing something really well and doing it as much as you can right now, especially because in a situation like what we're experiencing, and I just want to show you guys, the current situation out here is as much different than yesterday. Our visibility is back down to extremely low today. But you know, hey, you know, it's still very nice out here. It's still very comfortable. I've only got this Columbia jacket on just to stay a little bit dry because the temperature is great. I would say if they are manipulating the weather, they're doing a pretty damn good job about it because it's the middle of January and it feels great out here. Now, what I want to tell you guys is that I'm working on putting together a video, and I apologize if I'm yelling. Michelle tells me I yell a lot when I start getting really excited about what I'm talking about. But I'm working on putting together a video for you guys with specifics on where I'm putting my money and why I'm taking it out of the banks, where I'm putting it, and ultimately ways of generating wealth and income moving forward. Because I have some plans, I have some goals, I have some items I need to check off on my list. And I'm gonna run through it real quick. If you guys are here watching this part of the video, I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you haven't, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and check the link in the description. I'm gonna put another channel link down there. It's another channel that I've started that's gonna focus more on some of these specifically as far as making money, saving money, investing money for beginners, and other passive income strategies and investments and things like that. So I'm just gonna go down the list real quick, but I'm gonna make a dedicated video for this for you guys. And basically it is my 5 basic principles. Number 1, make more money. And on my list, I've got YouTube, I've got consulting, I've got affiliate sponsors, I got paid promotions, freelance contracting, cash flowing assets, user generated content, UGC, content licensing, networking, reinvesting, business tools and assets, more revenue, less taxes. I think it's crazy that he's actually out here about to hit these waves. Brave soul. But I guess this is the time to do it when you have the waves, but you won't catch me out there. Now, additionally, I want to spend less. I got to be more frugal and more responsible with my money, and ultimately renegotiate on some of these expenses that I have that honestly I can't shake, but I can bring the prices down. It's part of my number 3 step, which is budgeting. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4 is paying off debts, which I don't really have much debt, so That'll be super easy to do. But with that, it includes not taking on more debt. And then number 5 is savings and investing. And the savings really ties into the plans and the strategies behind the banks and where my money's going to go outside of the banks from a standpoint of diversity, cash, credit unions, a variety of business holdings, securities, cold storage vault, and then we move into investing with stocks, ETFs, cryptocurrency, technology, time, knowledge, education, myself, real estate, talent, and innovation. I got to stay safe and I got to stay liquid, folks. And this is just my plan. It's not yours. You don't have to do what I do, but I'm just sharing with you since a lot of folks have been asking. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily need all the capital that I have now. So what I can do is I can send my money out into the world to bring more money back to me, which is ultimately passive income, return on investment, having the ability to earn money while I sleep. Now, with that being said, I had something that pretty much like hit me really hard just yesterday, which was, you know, do something and do it well. Now, with that being said, you know, I have, you know, my own opinions on diversity, but I think that you can tie the two together. Do something and do it well while creating diversity in what you're doing, because Confucius says, the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. Well, in my opinion, I'm really good at a few select things, but also right now, some of these select things are paying really, really well. So I have to double down, triple down, 10x my time, my investment, my knowledge in these areas that are producing, and then from that, diversifying it so that it can continue to make more and more and more passively. So if you guys really want to know more, you're really interested, hit me up, contact me, links in the description. But I think this applies so much to a lot of these people who are finding themselves in situations where they are being laid off from their jobs. They are potentially going to be aged out in a situation in a case like Bank of America and Brian Moynihan, and perhaps maybe facing some hiring freezes, some slowdown in hiring from some of these companies. Now, granted, the other thing is I get conflicting reports as far as the unemployment status, the job market status, the labor status, variety. You know, it's all over the place. But at the end of the day, I think the best thing that anybody can do, we're actually coming up on Henderson State Beach Park, or Henderson Beach State Park. I don't want to go too far, so I'm gonna come back around, but man, you can't see anything down there. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm getting conflicting numbers on the jobs and everything like that. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm securing myself first and foremost, numero uno, me, myself, my family. And so for the people out there who have these skills, who have these abilities to do something and do it really well, I say double down on that, triple down on that, 10x that. Because right now, investments, if you're looking for investments, I think investments right now are great hedges against inflation. And all my investments are long-term investments. So I'm not looking to get rich overnight. But I do think that there's a lot of people out there that are saying, hey, I need money now. I've lost my job now. My bills are increasing, my costs, my overhead, my expenses are going up now. So my investments, although can produce returns and passive income, I want those to compound and stay within those investments to further produce more returns. My income is where it's going to help me pay my bills, help me cover these costs, these rising expenses, this inflation as we're in this recession. So I want to make sure I'm increasing my income, especially after having negotiated and tightening my budget and becoming more frugal. perhaps maybe even more minimalistic, then all that extra money that I'm not spending, because just because you make more doesn't mean you spend more, all that extra money that I'm not spending, I can then dump back into these investments that are going to continue to produce the compound interest and returns for long-term growth, retirement, wealth planning, and succession for my family. So, sorry about that, excuse me. So, simple, quick and easy. How do I make more money now? Well, goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you do something, do it well, and just do more of it. And that's really what hit me last night. So that's what I do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've been doing, and I'm sharing it with you guys. If you guys are interested, here it is. I could bring you all sorts of options and ideas, which I do on a regular basis, which is part of my content creation. But at the end of the day, content creation is my thing. Content creation is my thing. The algorithm is my thing. Production is my thing. Networking is my thing. And bringing, I think, value, please like if you agree, is my thing. So why not do more of that while it's paying? Because the goal, in my opinion, is to build up as much income and as much cash and as much capital resources and liquid resources as possible to not worry about losing your job, so that you can have it to invest. And most importantly, in my opinion, have it. Here comes the surfer. He's about to hit it. Oh man, wow. Yeah, in my opinion, to have it so that when things turn around, you're in a position to say, all right, the housing market has crashed. Well, somebody asked me an interesting question about Home Depot and Lowe's, and you might want to look into Home Depot's net revenue, gross revenue and net profit for third quarter 2022. Talk about recession proof. Much like the video I brought you guys the other day about Wayfair, and maybe it was Wayfair, but it was a furniture company saying that consumer discretionary spending and disposable income was being reduced, changing their spending habits on furniture. Now, this company decided to get more into cleaning and refurbishing and refinishing furniture for the people looking to not spend money on new furniture. And somebody said, well, what do you think is going to happen to Home Depot if we have a housing market crash? Well, more than likely, Home Depot is going to do really well, because they're going to be the place to go for people to modify, maintain, and repair their home, since they're not buying. Home Depot is not the place you go to build. Not wide scale, large commercial construction development. You go to the source for that. You go to commercial supply houses for that. You go directly to the lumber yards for that. So Home Depot, that's not their bread and butter. But a company like Home Depot and Lowe's are going to be in a great position in a housing market crash, especially if some of these homes are distressed and need minor repairs and to be flipped. Folks are going to run to Home Depot. So it could be a great investment opportunity for, again, the investors out there watching. Pay attention to what's going on in the market. It's kind of like reading these waves. These surfers know. Granted, there's only one surfer out here, so maybe he's the only one who knows, or maybe he doesn't know the right thing, but they know how to read these waves, and it tells them a story. It helps them understand and identify what is likely to come. So what I was saying was, by having the ability to produce this income will put you in a position to have the capital and cash flow available to capitalize on these investment opportunities when they present themselves. And it's like, if we were to see a dip in the housing market of 20, 30, 40%, folks need to have that money available to jump on these deals, because that market's going to be hot. Cash buyers are going to take over again, even more so because the interest rates are higher. You see what I'm saying? So this is my goal. This is my plan. This is what I want to bring to you guys if you guys are interested in hearing it. But with that being said, I will continue to bring you more of what I do well, what I see working best for me, and continue to offer it to you guys if it's something that you're interested in taking advantage of, because literally anybody can do it. Granted, you saw the setup that I'm using today. I probably got about like 3 or 4. This is Michelle's favorite restaurant here, or one of her favorite restaurants. I probably got like 3 or 4 different setups, maybe 5, that I alternate through. But at the end of the day, folks, you guys can get this done with a simple camera phone, a smartphone, Samsung Galaxy, iPhone, don't matter. Motorola Razr, and his glasses are getting all wet. Should have brought some wipes or something. But yeah, that's it. And anybody can do it. We're actually working with a few friends now to get them up and running off the ground, for the simple fact that that opportunity is available. Now, that's what I'm gonna bring. What I want you guys to focus on is, what do you have? What do you do that you can double down on, triple down on, 10x, to the point of which you can increase your earning potential and income now. Don't rely just on one source, okay? That's the key. Diversifying the sources of which this is coming from, not necessarily diversifying what you do to make it happen, if that makes sense. If you do really well at, let's just say you do really well at accounting. You do really well at accounting, you work with an accounting firm. Well, how can you multiply that to diversify how many different ways you can get paid through accounting? You see what I'm saying? If you maybe speak a different language, if you speak a different language and you can teach other people to speak this language, how many different ways can you offer that to produce multiple streams of income from that skill, from that resource, your ability to speak a different language? And think about it. Think about TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit is a way to do that. Fiverr, another way to offer your services. There's a variety of ways. Facebook Marketplace could be simple and easy. You could do Craigslist. You could do this. The list is on and on. I think I'm gonna head out and get back. I need to go grab something to eat for breakfast. But the simple fact of the matter is that I want to figure out what is bringing me in the most money consistently. All right, and then once I figure that out, how can I multiply that to do it more than what I have now, so that I can use that to increase my earnings overall as I work towards my overall plan. And this Calhoun Beach Trail, if you guys want to check it out. So that's what I want to do, because then if that's the case, if Brian Moynihan comes to me, comes knocking on my door, telling me that, you know, it's time for me to go, we're not laying you off, but, you know, it's time for you to retire, and I'm not ready to stop earning, I have already built up this strategy, this plan, these multiple income sources that I can continuously use to achieve the goals that I have set out for myself. If you guys got any questions, you want more information, feel free, comment down below, hit me up, let me know, and I'll go into greater detail for you guys. Until next time, you guys take care, be safe. See ya, bye.